are fighting for the people of Pearland.
Mr. Moore, what are your qualifications to serve as a city council member? And why do you want to be on the city council? What would be your goals if you were elected to the city council?
While there are no specific qualifications to serve on council other than being a qualified voter, 6-month resident prior to election, not indebted to the city, or a convicted felon, and mentally incapacitated, one major component that qualifies me is my willingness to serve my community. And I'm available at all times in service. I've done previously on various boards and other committees to include my job at Dow Chemical. Serving as a president on boards and as a board member, I've had experience with a budget, listening to concerns and issues and working through them with a common sense approach and making sound and timely decisions for not just a small group of people, but all involved. I want to bring my environmental experience to council and serve my city. I'd like to promote all current business owners while helping promote new business growth and welcoming new and small and large businesses to Pearland. And in the next financial forecast, I'd like to assess and research the possibility of making the longevity pay better for the Pearland police officers.
Hello, my name is Susan Sherrouse, and I'm currently sitting on City Council position number 3.
Mr. Rouse, what are your qualifications to serve as a city council member? And why do you want to be on city council? And what would be your goals if you were elected to city council?
Okay. First of all, I've been active in numerous organizations for decades, and specifically for the last 9 years, as I just mentioned. I have systematically improved my knowledge through service and training. First as a planning and zoning commissioner, and then later on council. I was named planning and zoning commissioner of the state of Texas. And in my day job, I'm a department manager of sewer engineering in charge of information management for projects in excess of $30 billion total installed cost. I want to see my private sector management skills to translate to the public sector. I have been blessed in my life, and I believe it's my responsibility to pass on those blessings. I'm blessed to be a blessing, and I truly believe that. A city is never ever done, and there are always going to be problems. We must anticipate these challenges and risks and have mitigation plans in place. This city will be here long after we're gone. This is Management 101. Now add the budget constraints and my personal passion for financial stewardship. It's not my money, it's your money. My goal is to manage what we have effectively and with an eye on the future, manage and plan. We have a daily work audit of over 700 employees and a score or more of capital projects. My not-so-sexy campaign promise is to manage so that in the future, people won't look back and say, what were they thinking? But instead they'll say, wow, they thought ahead. Thank you.
I'm Jeff Jeffress. I'm an 18-year resident here in Pearland. My wife is a local business owner and physician. We have 2 children, Nicholas, who is a junior, and Claire, who's in 8th grade.
What are your qualifications to be a candidate for the Pearland Independent School District School Board? And what do you think is expected of you as a board member?
The qualifications required to be a school board member are quite broad. You have to have a breadth of experience. I've had experience in all grade levels of the Pearland school system, from elementary, middle school, junior high, and high school. I've had experience across 6 campuses, so I understand the challenges we're facing at each level and at several of our campuses. I've helped participate in improving education across many of those academic years. I've done liquid nitrogen experiments for elementary school students. I've helped students at Dawson organize to build an academic integrity program that you saw implemented in Pearland ISD this year. I've coached many youth sports teams, from basketball to football to soccer. and have gained a lot of experience with both my children and their friends in that experience. I also work for BMC Software, and my job at BMC Software is to educate and certify the technical consultants at BMC. So I understand the challenges that educators face. I believe the role of the school board is to set a vision, to establish goals, and to provide great governance so that your tax dollars are spent as efficiently as possible in educating our children. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Charles Gooden Jr. I am a husband, father, businessman, youth coach, church mentor, and a servant leader.
What are your qualifications to be a candidate for the Pearland Independent School District School Board? What do you think is expected of you as a board member?
Being a resident of the district, I am a taxpayer and just meet all the legal qualifications for being on the ballot. I think to take that a little bit further is to discuss what would make me a good candidate for the Pearland ISD School Board. First, I am extremely passionate about the mission of the district. My son is in the dual language program over at first grade in Carlston Elementary, and I have been blown away by his development, leaps and bounds. He's reading on almost a third grade level now. So I know that Pearland ISD is a great place for our children to be educated. I have a track record of effective service to this community. I've really grown as a person through all the things I've been able to do in this community, from coaching youth sports to mentoring youth in church. I have served as a director of the Pearland Chamber of Commerce, a former planning and zoning commissioner, and currently I sit on the board of the Economic Development Corporation. And I'm also a director of my credit union, Associated Credit Union. I think that experience with developing budgets and understanding the complex workings of large organizations is also very key. As a board member, I think we are expected to be extremely engaged, but not attempting to run the school district on a day-by-day basis. The trustees are the officials that ensure that staff and administration is meeting goals. And I also think that trustees are called to a very high standard of stewardship over tax dollars and the assets of the school district.
Hello, good evening. My name is Suzanne Johnson, and I'm running for position 2, Pearland ISD Board of Trustees.
The first question is, what specific goals do you have for Pearland Independent School District, and how do you plan to reach your goals?
So one of the specific goals that I have is, of course, to look over the budget and include ensure that the budget is within the means for the district. Also to ensure that the children in our district have the best opportunity for the best education. And I'd also like to ensure that we continue with our program of art and science, and also our athletic programs. The way that I would reach these goals, of course, would be to work with the other board members and to discuss the particular issues that are brought to the board to ensure that we're doing the correct thing for the children in our district.
For the next candidate is Rusty DeBoard. In his absence, his daughter is going to be speaking on his behalf.
Good evening. My name is Morgan DeBoard. Unfortunately, my dad, Rusty DeBoard, candidate for Pearland ISD School Board Position 2, had a school board meeting tonight and could not be here.
What specific goals do you have for the Pearland Independent School District, and how do you plan to reach your goals?
The specific goals my dad has for Pearland ISD are those shared by the school district, and that is to be a world-class bottom line. And I know my dad is passionate about this, and he believes that we can reach our goals by continuing to cultivate a collaborative relationship with the community, paying top dollar for the best teachers, and creating a culture of grit and determination throughout.
For those who don't know him, what do you know?
Recent tax increases on boards of debt services would already receive the vast majority of tax money. How would you manage expenses to ensure that city services do not suffer and reduce the debt services budget?
Okay. Appreciate the question. You're exactly right. Right now, we have a tax rate of 7.51 cents. And of that, 21.51 is actually for the operating side, and the debt is 49 cents. There's a problem there, as we look at it through there. We've got the bond issue, the mayor was right, we did two bond issues, one in 2001 and one in 2007. Those were voted on by the taxpayer. But our total debt right now, when we look at it, the principal on our total bond debt right now is $295 million. Now, if you take that and you add the interest that we pay, which is $138 million, we got a total debt that won't be paid off until 2038 of $432 million. Now, that does not bring into play the other $34 million that's in the budget for this year that's going to be compounded on top of that. So, in reality, we got a budget that's sitting there and bond debt is $1.5 billion with a B. Now, we're not that bad in financial shape, but you got two pots of money. You got one from the general fund, your taxes, your fines, your sales tax, and what have you, goes into there. The other's in your general fund, or your enterprise fund, which is your water and wastewater, and the money goes into there, into that area there. And when I say that we're not doing that bad right now, what I'm saying is we're outrunning that.
Your time is up, sir. Your time is up.
With the sales tax.
I'm Tom Reed, and I'm building a city.
Recent tax increase has gone towards debt services, which already receive the vast majority of tax money. How would you manage the balance of money between debt services and operating expenses to ensure that city services do not suffer and reduce the debt service budget?
Okay, you know, by the law, we have to have a balanced budget, it's a state requirement. But we can look at what we call our debt service has been the bonding the debt is owed by our citizens. And one of the things we can do is look at those and make a managed judgment as to how we can float those into the future perhaps. But we must always make certain that we have